tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Popping candles, swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track.
Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Popping candles, swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's in.
Right, hello everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your daily vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to like and share and all of that. Also, if you already are subscribed, double check and make sure that you're still subscribed if you have not been receiving notifications. Okay, so hello, Juju B. 555 is in the house. Jeff ATL. All right, let's get into it. Deronda. Okay, Buckhorse DC. G from the land. All right, shout out to all my loyal royals and my moderators. Shout out to my moderators because you know they be putting in work. I see you, Nessa G. Desmond. Sheila is in the virtual building. Okay, Anita. All right, so let's get into it. And shout out to everyone tuned into the Queen. Okay, so before we get started, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
All right. So with that all being said, don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. And you can also find it at Walmart.com. And she also sells beard oil. Okay. So with that all being said, let's get ready to get into it. Okay. So first off, let's talk about how Trump's administration has thrown one of their own, and that is Kristi Noem. They have thrown her under the bus because Miss Kristi Noem is the one who basically authorized for those, not authorized, but she's the one who was in charge of the immigrants being shipped out of here, specifically Abrega Garcia. Okay, and so now the Trump administration has obviously just thrown her under the bus. She's the scapegoat. So let's get into it.
Justice has revealed that Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem made the final decision not to comply with the federal judge's order earlier this year to stop those deportation flights of alleged Venezuelan gang members under the Alien Enemies Act. According to a court filing, Nome was informed of the judge's orders to turn the flights around last March, but she decided that the detainees had already been removed from the United States so they could continue to be transferred to the notorious Seacourt prison in El Salvador. The disclosure comes as Judge James Boasberg seeks to revive criminal contempt proceedings against Trump administration officials who authorized the flight.
All right. So y'all heard that. So they say Nome's call ensured that the deportees rounded up and expelled with virtual no due process after President Donald Trump invoked war powers to designate them as members of a transnational gang. Okay, now they would remain imprisoned in El Salvador until under harsh conditions for months until the U.S. helped broker a prisoner swap that resulted in all of the men being returned to Venezuela. The assertion is that it was Nome who made the decision, despite a frantic effort by lawyers for the men, backed by Boasberg, to halt the transfer. Now, this adds a wrinkle to the murky timeline surrounding the deportation effort. So the Justice Department described the decision in response to efforts by Boasberg to determine why the government disregarded his March 15th order to prevent the abrupt deportations. The judge appointed by former President Barack Obama has already concluded that administration officials likely engaged in criminal contempt of court in their handling of the episode. Now, DOJ officials say Nome's decision was informed by legal advice from the top levels of the Justice Department, including Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and then Principal Associate Deputy Attorney General Emil Bove and the Department of Homeland Security. That advice relied on an unusual claim that Boasberg's order to turn around the deportation flights had no force, and his subsequent written order, they argued, was similarly ineffective because the flights had already left the U.S. airspace. So after receiving that legal advice, Secretary Nome directed that the AEA detainees would have been removed from the United States before the court's order could be transferred to the custody of El Salvador. Okay, Justice Department Attorney Tiberius Davis wrote this in a new filing, saying that that decision was lawful and was consistent with a reasonable interpretation of the court's order. So they're trying to act like they didn't know exactly what the judge was saying, like, okay, but they already left, so there's no need to turn around because they're already on their way there. Now, the Justice Department filing is silent about whether Trump or any White House officials were involved in the decision to continue with the deportations in the face of the judge's order. Now, I want you all to pay attention because we all know that the person who authorized this was none other than Donald J. Trump himself. Do you see how they have thrown Kristi Noem's dumb self, this is all her own fault, how they've thrown her under the bus? She's the scapegoat because they're not going to mention Trump. Okay, the DOJ is not going to mention Trump or any other serious officials. That's what they're not going to do, like Kash Patel, okay, Stephen Miller. But with that all being said, yeah, she's the one that's going to pay for this. Okay, so anyway, they go on to say, in a filing earlier on Tuesday, lawyers for the deportees urged Boasberg to demand testimony from 9 current and former officials, including Bove, who is now a federal appeals court judge, and Erez Ruvini, who was fired in April and has accused Bove of telling other DOJ lawyers in vulgar terms that they needed to defy any court order blocking the deportation. Bove has denied that allegation because Bove does not want to be held accountable. Okay, now the Supreme Court ultimately ruled 6-3 that Boasberg lacked jurisdiction to oversee the case that the men brought on an emergency basis in March, although the justices later blocked further deportations under the Alien Enemies Act. Boasberg has concluded legal precedent permits him to carry on with the contempt proceedings, even if the underlying order was later deemed to be flawed. He says, I certainly intend to find out what happened that day, and the government can assist me to whatever degree it wishes. Now, lawyers for the deported men Boasberg or urging Boasberg to demand sworn statements from senior administration officials involved in the March 15th operation and the decision to deplane the men despite Boasberg's command. Okay, well, I just want you all to pay attention because everything that I told you all about Trump's nefarious plans and how all these things he's doing, you see how everything's backfiring? That's because everything he's been doing is absolutely illegal. All of these indictments just frivolously, okay, and now the judge ordered him and his other attorney to pay $1 million fine for frivolous lawsuits filed, okay? That's what Trump gets. I wish it was 10 million. Matter of fact, make it 40. The same amount. Well, no, that's not the same amount because he actually gave Argentina billions. Okay, but this will take away some of that money that him and his nefarious kids have garnered since they have been, or he has been in office. I just find it all so interesting. Interesting. So now with that all being said, moving right along. Now let's talk about how Miss Jasmine Crockett went in on Trump about his racism and all of his BS. Screen because the Dems hold a major shadow hearing on Trump's conduct. And that's why little Miss Crockett went off. And she said Trump turned the ICE agents into a modern slave patrol and people are dying. And I don't see any lies detected. Okay, here we go.
The ranking member and again to the mayor for calling this. But let me be clear. Donald Trump is running the most openly racist immigration regime in modern American history. I've said it once and I'll say it again. Donald Trump's mass deportation system makes me think of what a modern day slave patrol would look like. Slave patrols were armed groups empowered by the government to control, intimidate, and terrorize people solely based on color. That's what's happening now. Donald Trump is sending mass agents without warrants into communities of color to terrorize the people who live there. And the reason that I want to make sure that I draw out this link, because we heard Maxine say that Black and brown is coming together. I want to be clear about this. This should not just be the immigrant community. This should be all of us united, because we know united we stand, divided we fall. And unfortunately, this last election, we allowed ourselves to be divided. Now, Ms. Velez, it's my understanding that you were detained by federal agents while you were on your way to work. Is that correct? Did any of these agents present you with a warrant?
No.
An explanation?
No.
Did they do anything other than illegally detain and arrest you?
Yeah.
Did they even identify themselves?
No, they did not.
Okay. Donald Trump has created an environment where these agents believe they are above the law. And one of the things that the ranking member just said was that there's a level of dehumanization. It is in that dehumanization, whether we are talking about the language they use to describe human beings, or whether we talk about the fact that they don't feel as if certain people are entitled to their constitutional rights. That is why Ms. Velez, unfortunately, was denied her constitutional rights, which we know she was supposed to enjoy in, just like those in our immigrant community. But this isn't just that this is the most openly racist immigration regime in modern day history. It is also the most violent and deadly immigration regime in decades. More people have died this year in ISIS custody than in any year since the early 2000s, and the year is not over. Ms. Kozlowski, talk to me about the disturbing reports of unsanitary and inhumane conditions, which are partly responsible for the increase in deaths at the federal detention facilities.
The conditions that we see in the federal detention centers, from holding facilities to facilities across the country, are absolutely deplorable. They are deadly, as you have pointed out. But we see conditions where people are denied medical care, where people are harmed while in custody, where people are held incommunicado from their families. What we are seeing right now are the most horrific conditions, and they are simply designed to get people to give up on their cases. They're intentionally cruel, being kept away from their families, In some cases, we've seen people in the midst of chemotherapy treatments, people on dialysis who are being held in conditions where they don't have access to bathrooms, where they're given rotten food, where they're in places that are so crowded, rooms that are meant for just a dozen people with 60 people in them, that they can't even lay down despite their delicate medical conditions.
Thank you so much. Listen, Donald Trump has dehumanized people of color for decades. I want y'all to understand this is who he is. This is an actual feature of what it is to be Donald Trump. Instead of a flaw, he demanded the execution of innocent Black boys. He has been sued many times for racial discrimination. He called African nations shithole countries. He said that, quote, immigrants poison the blood of our country. And he's repeatedly refused to denounce white supremacy. In fact, he's hired many white supremacists to work in this administration. And now they're carrying out this racist and violent mass deportation, and it is destroying our country. LA, we stand with you, and we stand with the rest of this country. Thank you so much.
Okay, well, I guess we heard all of that. I want y'all to pay attention. She is absolutely right. Donald Trump has always disparaged Black people since the 70s. Okay, since the 70s, Joy said he is the problem. Yes, he absolutely is. Okay, and so Sister said, no lies detected. Jasmine's telling the whole truth. She absolutely was. With that all being said, for the people saying you wish you went as hard for Black people, don't y'all know that there are some immigrants that are Black? I mean, they may be Africans, Jamaicans, Trinidadians, or whatnot, but they're still Black people. Okay, they're just not African Americans. And please watch out because they're trying to deport us too. Okay, according to that guy who said that he was snatched up by ICE, and he's a whole African American born and raised here. Okay, so that should help everybody. Okay, what she's doing right there. So, anywho, with that all being said, Trump is the devil, and that's just what it is. But I find it interesting because they said Trump will talk all this trash about everybody and come for everybody and try to attack them, especially if they're cracking jokes on him or whatever. But he has remained uncharacteristically silent on Comedy Central satire of the presidents, okay, on South Park. Yeah, they said Trump had said one word about that, nor will he, they don't think. Okay, so in a political era defined by Trump's reactionary takedowns of anything and everything that disagrees with his worldview, or bruises his ego, or contradicts the MAGA agenda, an acid-tongued tweet or fireball of Truth Social post would be expected to land on the desk of South Park masterminds Trey Parker and Matt Stone. Yet, as was seen during Trump's first presidential term, when the show hit, or the hit show used its complex teacher character, Mr. Garrison, as a stand-in for Trump, the president has been radio silent in response to what has become, without a doubt, his harshest, most controversial, and hands down funniest lampoonings. At the same time, he appears to have gone to great lengths to decimate the late night comics who jab at him day over day, in a campaign that seems to have taken on one scalp and nearly taken another. Now, in fact, for a decade, Trump has not hesitated to launch midnight broadsides at everyone from Robert De Niro to Nordstrom. So what makes South Park, which has enjoyed record-breaking viewership across its last two back-to-back seasons, so untouchable in the vengeful eyes of the leader of the free world? So why doesn't Trump try to get them canceled, go in on them, talk trash about them, and say mean and hateful things like he does everybody else who pokes fun at him? Well, comic and actor Pat Oswalt recently offered an opinion on this in an appearance on the Daily Beast podcast, The Last Laugh. The anti-MAGA comic, whose new audio only special opens with a mock disclaimer that to avoid the aforementioned authoritarian blowback, he's now a Trump loyalist. That's sarcasm, clearly. Now, offered that blockbuster ratings and the almighty dollar are some of the few things that can keep Trump's claws from coming out. He says South Park, not only does it make an insane amount of money, it also gets insane ratings. And Trump can only be so angry at that, because what Trump ultimately will respect, even if it doesn't respect him, is something where the numbers are through the roof and the money is through the roof. This is what the comedian said. Also adding that something that is as massive and as undeniable as South Park, both in quality, which people like and I can see, but then in numbers and money, which Trump can see, he just falls silent. Now, if Colbert was making South Park money and getting South Park eyes on him, Trump wouldn't know what to do. Oswald may be correct here. We know from experience that the president has an obsession with ratings. He's quick to point out real or perceived declines in ratings and audience share when blasting his foes, whether they're subject to Nielsen analysis or not. He even said this himself in a candid campaign trail interview last year, telling a reporter, there's only one thing that matters: ratings. You can be nice. You can be nice or you can be mean. You can be evil. You can be horrible. You can be crude or elegant. If you don't have ratings, it doesn't even matter. So the logic certainly applies to Trump's late night takedown. The cornerstone of his tirades against Jimmy Kimmel was the declining ratings of his show, of his ABC show. Now, the argument was also made by the president as CBS announced the shuttering of Stephen Colbert's show. But in his unique way, Trump managed to claim Colbert had low ratings and in the same breath indicate he actually has the best late night numbers. So South Park's ratings in the Trump administration-centric latest seasons have been their best. The season 27 premiere episode drew the highest audience for a premiere episode since 1999 at 5.9 million viewers across Comedy Central and Paramount in its first 3 days. Okay, the second episode featuring a plastic surgery ravaged Kristi Noem shooting puppies garnered as an even greater increase in initial air viewers on Comedy Central, nearly doubling the premiere's audience with 838,000 live viewers and cross-platform viewership hitting 6.2 million over 3 days. Okay, so maybe they're right. Maybe that is why Trump hasn't gone in on them or tried to cause them any grief. Who knows? It seems like Trump knows who to mess with, is what they're basically saying, okay? Because he don't want to F around and find out. Now, in other news, Pennsylvania is turned blue. That's what they're saying. Pennsylvania is blue. How higher ACA premiums and Trump's trade wars could bankrupt Pennsylvania farmers. They say we have both put our blood, sweat, and tears in this and have made it a successful farm where we both can get our income from it. This is what Liz Krug, owner of Endless Roots Farm, says. So many farmers in the United States are looking at a bleak financial picture these days. In large part, it's all due to Donald Trump's tariffs, okay, the tariff war with China. Now, another contributor to the worsening situation is the still unresolved issue of subsidies that help offset premiums for health insurance under the Affordable Care Act, a tax credit program that is set to expire at the end of 2025 unless Congress acts to extend it. The health policy organization KFF reported in September that over 25% of American farmers rely on policies purchased through ACA marketplaces for their health insurance. Liz Krug, owner of a small family-owned farm in northeastern Pennsylvania, said she recently received a letter from Governor Josh Shapiro telling her that if congressional Republicans fail to extend the ACA tax credits that subsidize their payments, their insurance premiums are set to rise 83%. Do y'all hear that? It's almost double, 83%. They say we're pretty concerned. This is what Krug says, who owns Endless Roots Farm in Waverly, together with her husband, Mike. I mean, for us, we have a couple of options. It's either getting crappy health care, which we already have a high deductible for. So I can imagine getting something different, going without, which is just not an option. And then one of us getting an off-farm job that has benefits, which for us is pretty heartbreaking. So according to Keystone News, in 2024, over 435,000 Pennsylvanians purchased their health insurance through Penny, okay, the state's ACA marketplace. Now, the Krugs, both first-generation farmers, have been on the land for 12 years now. Endless Roots sits on 6 acres, growing vegetables year-round. They sell community-supported agricultural boxes directly to customers and have an online farmers market. She said they also sell wholesale to nonprofits and have a large flock of pasture-raised laying hens. She says, we have both put our blood, sweat, and tears into this and made it a successful farm. Now, the farms that are being hit by the trade war between the U.S. and China are mostly those that grow soybeans. As we already know, we know they took quite a hit. Okay, now over half of the soybeans produced by American farmers have been exported to China. But the New York Times reported in September, China has placed retaliatory tariffs on products that it imports in response to Trump's tariffs, making American soybeans too expensive to buy. So in 2018, during his first term, Trump imposed tariffs on Chinese goods, resulting in a trade war with China that led to a loss of nearly $20 billion in U.S. soybean sales. This was the first time he was in office. Lost $20 billion in soybean sales. That's such a shame for these farmers. John Boyd Jr. is a fourth-generation farmer in Baskerville, Virginia, and the founder of National Black Farmers Association. Boyd grows soybeans, corn, and wheat, and is currently raising beef cattle and chickens. Boyd says in the nearly 10 months since taking office, Trump has caused a man-made disaster and completely turned agriculture upside down. Says the only thing that we still do from A to Z in the United States is produce corn, wheat, and soybeans. Okay, this is what Boyd told the Pennsylvania Independent, saying everything else leaves the country and then it comes back in another part. We assemble it, but the only thing that we do here and put it in a container and ship it is corn, wheat, and soybeans. Now, according to Farm Trader 361 farms in the U.S. have filed for bankruptcy in the first half of 2025. This is all likely thanks to Trump. Okay, up 13% compared to the same period in 2024. But Trump says, oh, the prices are down. Everything's good. The economy's great. Gas prices are low. And then went off on some lady for asking him about the price of groceries and just basically gaslit her and deflected and kept talking about how energy is so good. And when energy's good, other prices go down. When the cost of energy goes down, then everything goes down. And he's talking about she drives a car, doesn't she? Gas is down. First of all, how does he know she drives a car? Okay, this lady could be elderly and have other people driving her around or, whatever. At the end of the day, he's trying to compare the price of gas when she's complaining about groceries, okay? She may not necessarily have to drive anywhere, but she darn sure has to eat. That's what we do know. Okay, Trump's a whole idiot. So anyway, when you lose these farmers, you're not just losing the farmer and some acres. You're losing generational skill sets that will be out of the agriculture production, and that's going to be the biggest impact that you'll see. Okay, Boyd said that when he walks outside and looks out on his farm every day, it's an indescribable feeling. And when that is all taken away from you at an auction sale or through a banker or whatever, it is an indescribable feeling. Boyd mentioned that American farmers have been affected by immigration crackdowns. We took a lot of food out of production this year that had rotted in the fields because we didn't have the workforce that has the level of skill set to go out there and work in 100-degree heat and pick this damn stuff. All through decisions of who? This administration and this president. I told you all, y'all may not like to hear it, but the truth of the matter is immigrants stimulate the economy. Okay, y'all not going to be out there on the side of the road selling peaches and oranges and watermelons. Y'all not going to be doing any of that, okay? And that's what this farmer is talking about. Now, Krug said that local farms make food systems more resilient. He says, I don't know what that's going to look like in a few days, a few weeks, but by supporting your local farmer in your area, you're creating these resilient food supply chains. This is what Krug said. Whether it's a natural disaster, an administration that's not making policies conducive to small farms or small businesses, we can still be around to feed our neighbors. But if they don't do that, they won't be around. Okay? So this all goes back to what I keep telling you all. Trump doesn't care about anybody but himself. Doesn't care about anybody but himself. And he's doing all of this. Listen, now we know Trump is stupid as hell. Okay, he's very obtuse. But at the end of the day, Trump knows what he's doing. He's doing all of this on purpose because, like I told you all, whether y'all want to believe it or not, Trump is dismantling this country from the inside out. Okay, that is the job and task that he was given, in my opinion. And I keep telling y'all that. And it's very obvious to me. And it should be obvious to everybody at this point. Okay, Trump is just a wrecking ball at this point. Okay. Yes, Mel, he is a whole narcissist. And Perplex says they show continuously how much they can give the least damn about the people. Exactly. That's exactly what they do. Okay, it's all just a whole mess. Now, with that all being said, let's talk about that assault that I showed you all the other day on video. The young lady who was a student at Clark University, or who is a student at Clark University, and how this idiot attacked her. Well, he's been arrested And I knew that was coming, didn't you all? I mean, I knew it was coming. How could he not be? It was all over. The video went viral with his stupid self. And do you all know this fool is a student too, I believe, at Morehouse? And then someone posted saying that Morehouse has protected abusers for years because they were saying, they basically were acting like they didn't want to expel him or something. But anyway, let's get into this article because they say a Morehouse College student has been arrested and charged with aggravated assault and making terroristic threats after a viral video showed him choking a Clark Atlanta University student outside of an off-campus apartment complex, sparking outrage across Atlanta's HBCU community. According to the Atlanta Police Department, officers were called on November the 20th, just after 6:30 p.m. to 120 Lucky Street Northwest about a physical dispute. Police said the reporting party told officers that while she was riding on a Georgia State University school bus, an unidentified male stepped on her foot, causing pain, and then walked away. Let me tell you why they really got mad. This guy and his girlfriend, who was equally as stupid as him, because she was sitting there laughing and talking trash to the young lady while he was harassing and assaulting her. I'm sure he's going to do that to her too if he hasn't done it as of yet, because clearly anyone who's that obtuse that you would do all of that when everybody is looking and you don't have the wherewithal to at least think that somebody's going to record your stupid self and you're going to jail. If you get that angry that you can't think clearly as to understand that, okay, then it's a pretty good chance that you act even worse behind closed doors. If you're doing that in public, I don't want to know what you do in private. So I'm pretty sure that he beats that girl's behind, okay? And if he hasn't, he's going to. She's just an idiot to not even see that. Just to see that he's putting his hand on any woman should be enough to let her know that he'd do the same to her. But she's so stupid, okay? Mally C says, happy day off, family gathering day, aka happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Thanks for coming out, Queen, working on my day off. All right. Thank you, beloved, for your kind words and for your contribution to the channel. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay. Nelson G said he's doing it. I'm sure he's doing it, Queen. Yes, of course he is, honey. He's probably been beating her behind, and she's just too stupid to leave. Okay, so anyway, his name is Matthew Dave Gonzalez Forrestine. So, and this is what I was going to say. The reason I think that he was so mad and his girlfriend was being so stupid, I think they were both offended because remember the young lady said in the video that when she was on the bus, they were sitting next to her and they were kissing and all of that. And so she just got up and moved. Because who wants to be sitting there next to that? Get a room, why don't you? Okay, so she got up, and I think they were offended by that because when they were getting off, he supposedly stepped on her foot. She asked him to apologize. He didn't. And when she got off, the girlfriend started saying, is there a problem? Is there a problem? And all of that. So that's how the whole thing started, for those who didn't see that broadcast. Okay, so anyway, goes on to say that when she confronted him, police said the suspect's girlfriend intervened and pushed her. Now, according to APD, the male suspects then joined the assault before several witnesses broke it up. And they say that the girl, Kayla, the victim, they said she was beating his girlfriend's behind because they got into a fight or whatever. They said Kayla was on top of her. And then he just yoked her up. Police later identified the man as 21-year-old Matthew Gonzalez Forrestine. He was transported to the Fulton County Jail for processing and booked under the name Matthew Dave Gonzalez Forrestine. Now, according to the Maroon Tiger, Morehouse's student-run newspaper, the incident occurred outside the Legacy at Centennial Apartments and quickly spread online after witnesses recorded the altercation. The video reshared by a CAU junior identified, and that's Clark Atlanta University, junior identified as Kayla Bryant, has drawn hundreds of thousands of views on TikTok and sparked a wave of anger from students, alumni, and parents, and the general public. Bryant posted the footage along with a video describing the attack, appearing visibly shaken as she recounted what had happened. She says she was riding the apartment shuttle when a couple boarded and began showing public affection. Wanting space, she moved to a different seat and continued listening to music. As she prepared to get off the shuttle, Bryant said the man, later identified as Gonzalez, stepped on her foot. He steps on me, and I said, excuse me. We already know the rest because I already showed you on the video, and she explained it all. So with that all being said, in a statement Saturday, Clark Atlanta University President George T. French Jr. said he was deeply concerned by the assault and called the violence unacceptable, and said, as the president of this institution, my first priority is the safety and well-being of our students. As a father, this disgusting display of violence against a young woman is unacceptable and has no place in our community. French emphasized that violence, particularly against women, would not be tolerated and said the university is working with Atlanta police and other authorities to address the situation immediately. Morehouse College has also released multiple statements over the weekend, calling the behavior shown in the video disappointing and completely inconsistent with the school's values. In a letter Sunday, Morehouse President Dr. F. Dubois Bowman said violence or threats of violence have no place in the Morehouse community, particularly violence against women. As a father of 4, including 2 daughters, it is even more imperative that we all maintain an unwavering commitment to upholding these core principles. Now, he said the college has already taken steps to ensure safety, while Atlanta police and the college's students conduct review move forward. Now, he noted that federal policy laws prevent Morehouse from releasing further details about any disciplinary actions. Okay, so maybe he has been expelled and they just can't tell us. I hope he has been. Okay, Morehouse said Saturday that its campus safety and student services teams are reviewing the matter and that the college is working closely with CAU and Atlanta police to fully investigate the situation and to reach a just solution. Now, Clark Atlanta released another statement Sunday confirming the incident occurred off campus and said the safety of the CAU students remains top priority. The university said its Department of Public Safety is in communication with Bryant, her family, Morehouse officials, and the Atlanta Police Department to address this situation with both care and urgency. Well, the thing is, what is the most concerning? 555 said he needs to be expelled. Yes, he does. I don't think they have done anything as of yet. I was thinking maybe, and they're just not telling us. But then when they say they're trying to reach a resolution, okay, that lets me know they haven't completed it. And they're probably still calling themselves doing an investigation, maybe, or waiting to see what else is going to happen with the police. I don't know. I wonder if he bailed out, though, or if he's still sitting in jail. Stupid self. And if he had a scholarship or something, that's probably going to be gone. I mean, this is why it pays to not get in your feelings and to always know how to control your feelings and your emotions. Because if you can't, honey, you're just going to live a life of disappointment. Okay, that's what happens when you cannot control your temper. It leads you down a path of destruction. I promise you that. Okay, I promise you that. So anyway, let's go. Hold on. Let's go to the news report about this whole situation since he's been arrested and whatnot.
A student told Channel 2 Action News that she feared for her life. Morehouse put her in a chokehold. You can see that video there. That Morehouse student is now facing some charges. Channel 2's Candace McCowan spoke exclusively to the victim on Lucky Street in downtown Atlanta, where that attack actually happened. And Candace, you talked to her. She's still in shock.
Yeah, she absolutely is. Several days later, George, that student said this happened after a day full of classes. She got off here at this charter bus stop here where they come from class. She says it's a lot of students that catch that bus and get off here because this is where a lot of students live. And she's worried for that reason she might run into the suspect again.
I said, kill you. Let her go. I'm not the one. I'm not the one. Me and mine is not the one.
You can hear the moment when Clark Atlanta student Kayla Bryant was able to breathe again after she spent several seconds in a chokehold on a downtown street corner.
I'm trying to kick off this wall here, trying to relieve the pressure in any sort of way, trying to do anything to do that while really hoping and praying that somebody was going to get him to let go.
Kayla said she first saw the man on the shuttle bus minutes before. She moved away from him and his girlfriend on the bus, saying they were kissing. But then as they got off the shuttle,
I stand up and he steps behind on top of my shoes. And I'm like, ow, can you apologize? Or say sorry. She's jerking her head at me is there a problem?
Let me just say, Like I told you all, he stepped on her foot on purpose. I really believe they had an attitude, felt offended because she got up, okay, and moved away from them. And he stepped on her foot. Because how do you step on somebody's whole foot that darn hard? We know that sometimes somebody might accidentally step on your shoe or something like that, but to step on your foot and to step on it so hard that it literally hurts. Yeah, he did that on purpose. I'm pretty sure he did. He's a low down, dirty dog. That's why his behind's going to have a whole felony.
I'm like, yeah, he stepped on me.
There was a back and forth between Kayla and the girlfriend where they both ended up on the ground. Then there was this moment.
All I knew there was somebody squeezing me, and he was really telling me he was going to take my life.
Atlanta police charged 21-year-old Matthew Fornstein, a Morehouse student. Morehouse called the behavior completely inconsistent with their mission, values, and expectations, while Kayla says he doesn't live in her building. She said his girlfriend does.
There's always going to be that fear in the back of my head. You really wanted me to die. Like, in that level of anger is something I can never comprehend or understand.
And Kayla said she is working with her building management. As for that suspect, he's facing charges of aggravated assault as well as terroristic threats. Kayla is very thankful for the people who intervened. She fears what would have happened if they weren't here. Now live downtown, I'm Candace McCowan for Channel 2 Action News.
Just a darn shame. All of that. Okay, all of that because he didn't want to apologize. And now look what you got yourself into. And as stupid as he is, let me tell you something. I'm pretty sure that he's so mad at her rather than himself. Because people like that, yeah, they never take accountability. It's never their fault. He's probably thinking if she hadn't pissed him off, if she hadn't told him to say he was sorry, this never would have happened. That's how he sees it, I guarantee you. That's how ignorant somebody like him is. Okay? Now let's go to what the streets are saying about it all since he's been arrested. Okay, so sister says, apology not accepted, okay?
I posted a video about the young person who was going to Clark, Atlanta, who was assaulted by the young man who's at Morehouse that morning after because people were tagging me in their video. I think their name is Kayla. I've seen some other videos about this on my timeline, and I just want to say this. The systems are moving how the systems are supposed to move. I think people are saying that they're calling for this, for the young man to be expelled and things of that nature. The young woman has locked her page down. What I'm also sitting with is that men usually don't have a hair trigger for violence towards women like that in specific situations. Like if he can go from 0 to 100 like that with a complete stranger, he does that with people he's comfortable with. And I also in this time I'm wondering what the girlfriend experiences with him. It does not assuage how she was a party to how that all came to be and co-signing his foolishness post the assault. And I don't want us to miss all of the opportunities to make sure that Black women are safe and protected in this moment. And I don't think we have to minimize the experience of the young, I think their name is Kayla. I don't think we don't need to minimize their experience or push them to the side to do both. But that's something I've been thinking of. I was thinking about last night before I went to sleep. I'm just like, that brother kind of went off the handle very quickly. And then you expel him. I hope somebody is working. Like, I hope, and this is the part where I just be like, you know, you become a part of elite institutions, you become a part of communities and stuff, and people engage in harm, and there's consequence to that harm. But I'm also hopeful that whatever mentors and whatever connections he had over there at Morehouse, that they continue to work with him as he navigates the consequences of his actions. Because the boy ain't about to go to prison for 100 years. He about to be out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is still a young person in our community that will be riding the buses, that will be dating. And so if the behavior, if the attitude If the root cause isn't addressed, then the weed is going to come back. So I'm hopeful that if he's a part of a fraternity, if he's a part of any, if he has any connections or mentors at Morehouse, that they continue to work with him and challenge him around this, because this is something deeper. This is something deeper. I've watched this video several times, and there's a level of him being intentional about the way that he's like lifting this child off the ground, but also there's a ease and a normalcy that he engaged in at that time as well that I felt like I witnessed, and that altogether brings deeper concern. And I hope that they're also talking to Kayla and they're continuing to ask them what safety and care looks like for them right now, because in these instances, we want to move people, want to do all these other things. It's important to listen to those who have been most impacted by the harm when we're trying to come up with solutions for safety in these type of situations, especially when it's spaces of education and there's all these other components that are connected.
Okay, well, he was pretty, or he or she, I'm not sure if that was a man or woman. I see you all asking in the comments. I can't really tell. Maybe they're androgynous. I don't know. But nonetheless, whoever they were, male or female, they had some nice nails. I'll say that much. But anywho, I do agree with him. This young man needs to get some sort of therapy and counseling while he's in prison, because that's where he's going, hopefully, because he is very dangerous. Now, I feel like he could have really snapped her neck, choked her out until she was unconscious or anything. Okay? Yes, Leon said the girlfriend played a part in the mess. Of course she did. And she was glad, at what he was doing, rather than trying to calm him down or trying to stop him. That is absolutely crazy.
This be a lesson to all the dusty men who was coming out after that young lady was attacked at Clark, Atlanta, saying that Black women needed to get used to the fact that Black men are going to start doing whatever they need to do to defend themselves and defend other women, after this man, Matthew Gonzalez Forstein, attacked that young lady, Kayla Bryant, right outside of her apartment complex and had her in a chokehold. He's now being arrested and held in jail for aggravated assault and threats. If you haven't seen it already, this is Kayla Bryant, the young woman who attends Clark, Atlanta, who posted the video of her being assaulted by that man right outside her apartment complex. She also told her story, which was that he stepped on her shoe, he refused to say sorry, and then his girlfriend mushed her. And then when she went to respond, that young man had her hanging from her neck off the ground with his arm around her neck to the point where it seemed like she was about to pass out and couldn't breathe. Now, it doesn't really matter what the altercation was about, honestly. What matters is the fact that you put a woman in a chokehold unnecessarily as a man. As a man. And Morehouse, as they should, has written a letter saying that they don't condone any sort of violence, especially not against women. Duh, as they should. Because what were you thinking? And to all the men that thought this was your moment to start being violent towards women, you could go sit in a jail cell right next to him. Pack it up.
He said, pack it up. Okay, because who agrees with that? Who thinks that's okay? It's all so crazy. At the end of the day, honey, he's getting exactly what he deserves. He's going to be kicked out of school. It's no telling what he was going to college for at the end of the day. And now you've just ruined your future because you can't control your anger with your stupid, ugly self. Oh, he's ugly inside and out, honey, clearly. Let's keep going.
Matthew Fortenstein was going to go through with his threat of unaliving Kayla Bryant. It is very, very clear in the video. There's a certain point where he already has her in the chokehold and he leans back. And because he's taller than her, when he leaned back, she went up on the tiptoes. So the only thing that was grounding her was the arm that he had around her neck, actively choking her out, and the tips of her toes. And let me just be very clear, there's no doubt in my mind, had it not been recorded and had those two guys not helped, and I use that word lightly, he would have strangled her to unaliving. And the girlfriend, Jordan Bucco, would have just watched. And here is the background, quick background if you haven't seen the video. Basically, Kayla Bryant, a Clark Atlanta student, was on the shuttle and she noticed that they were being weird. They were just kind of kissing, a lot of PDA essentially. So as they're leaving, he steps on her foot and she goes, "Hey, yo, you need to apologize. You stepped on my foot." And so Jordan, the girlfriend, is like, "Do we have a problem?" And Kayla goes, "Yeah, your man's just stepped on my foot. He can apologize and we can move on." So Jordan decides to take it to another level. So they start fighting. They start scrapping. I guess Kayla's winning because Jordan calls Matthew, the boyfriend, to get her, and he goes to start choking her. And then that's where you see where he basically almost lifts her off the ground while he is still choking her out. And it takes two guys who, first of all, took way too long to even help, which means they sat there to watch the fight. And then when they realized it was getting serious, then they decided to do something. But anyway, so they pull him off. And when they pull them off, they fling Kayla, and they're more focused on being like, "Hey, man, calm down, calm down." And what's crazy is as soon as he realized that he was no longer fighting Kayla, a woman, and he sees that it's two guys, he instantly calms down. And then through all of this, Jordan, the girlfriend, is like, "Well, she started it. Mind you, Jordan is supposed to be an aspiring CRN, according to her Instagram. You really, there's just a lot going on. And the fact that I see so many people being like, "Oh, well, she was doing too much," talking about Kayla. Kayla was doing too much. And I think that's wild, considering how many times have we heard dudes be like, "Let somebody scuff my dreads. Let somebody scuff my dreads. I'll air this whole place out." All she said is, all you got to say is, "Ooh, excuse me." And that's it. And the fact that people are finding every which way to put the blame on Kayla, even though she is the victim. All she said was say, "Excuse me," and they decided to put their hands on each other, and they got to scrapping. And then he tried to actually unalive her. Wild. And the fact that Morehouse technically Morehouse, because that's where he attended, Morehouse basically, I'm trying to be nice about it, but essentially they said, "Well, this is an off-campus incident, but we'll look into it." But everybody knows that don't mean shit, especially because Morehouse has a reputation, and I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, you all heard that. So they do say that Morehouse has a reputation for protecting abusers. That's the word out here on these streets. So they may not have done anything. It sounds like they didn't do anything for what she was saying. This is all a hot mess. Okay, let's go to this last video. Then we're moving on. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. Time is going by so fast. We've been on here for almost an hour already.
Needs to be put away forever because he is a danger to literally anyone he comes near. And his girlfriend standing there laughing and defending him, talking about the other girl started it. Girl, be serious. Anybody who can do that to any woman will do that to every woman. You really think you're safe just because you're next to him? You might be the next one. The way he grabbed that girl, he didn't look like someone who snapped. He looked like he was in a full-blown psychotic rage. If the people around hadn't stepped in, he was not stopping. He looked ready to take that young woman out right there on the sidewalk. And then afterward, he's outside yelling, I'll catch a body right now. Like, hello, where are the police? Because he literally just admitted what he was trying to do. That is not someone who needs anger management. That is someone who needs to be removed from society completely. Men like that always have a history. You can tell this was not his first time he moved like a professional, like someone who knows exactly how to hurt people. And that's what makes it terrifying. This wasn't a fight. This wasn't an argument. This was a violent man showing exactly who he is. And honestly, put him away forever.
Okay, she sounded like AI. Her voice sounded very unnatural. Did you all notice that? I think that was AI. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, let's continue. Okay, let's continue because we got to talk about this whole Kanika situation. It's gotten real ugly. Okay, it's gotten real ugly. Let's go to it. Let's go to Jedediah's post on Facebook. Okay. Right. Nessa G said, I agree. He needs to be removed from society. He's very dangerous. Listen, I have never gotten that angry in my entire life about anything. I have never gotten that angry in my life, okay? To just jack somebody up like that, almost lifting them off the ground, and then talking about call 12, call 12. I bet you I'll catch a body today. He sounds so stupid because you're saying call the police and you bet you catch a body. So you want to go to jail for murder, sir? Because that's what you're saying. Okay? Like, call the police and I'm going to kill you? Okay, well, then there's a valid reason to call the police. How stupid is he? Okay, how stupid is he? And for Morehouse to have seen that video, because I'm sure they did, and to be sitting there talking about it was off campus, who cares? Who cares whether it's off campus or not? You should not want somebody that dangerous, somebody that's such a live wire who cannot control themselves, who is so undisciplined and dangerous. You shouldn't want them anywhere near your campus, okay? For fear of everyone's safety, including their own, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so anyway, let's go to what's going on with Kanika Jenkins. This is the drama part 2. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. This is Jedediah's last post. Okay, so it says this was on yesterday. He posted this. Says, yeah, now I'm about to get on that RS. Teresa Martin is trash. And RS stands for real shish. Okay. Teresa Martin is trash. And since you want to be on BS, let's go on and finally tell everyone how much you sold her for. The real reason you had to remove me is because the money was being messed up in Rosemont and you had made a deal. Say or do one more thing out of pocket, and I'm going to release the Teresa files. Do y'all hear this? He says, say or do one more thing out of pocket. I'm going to release the Teresa Steen files. Okay, you could never admit you made me the sacrificial lamb as you search for a way to end it when the truth came close to coming out. It's cool though. Your daughter will look into hell from heaven for her closure once you arrive. Ooh, do y'all hear him? He's going in. Okay, you are the one who ultimately betrayed her justice, and I hope you're the one who ultimately betrayed her justice, and I hope you never find peace, and every dollar spent increases your sorrow. Now that's some shish to laugh at. Hell on earth and after judgment. Tell everyone, because you strike me, you strike at me again, and I'm gonna abort my ethics and tell on you. I promise on my own life. There will be no round 2 when all I did was what you didn't have the courage to do. Fight for her till the end, regardless of what it costs. Unfortunately, I started to figure it out, and that you couldn't afford. Oh, honey, this is all just, it's a whole lot. Okay? Okay, do y'all hear that? Soul Sister said Jedediah needs to stand down because this is getting ugly. No, he doesn't. He doesn't need to stand down. He needs to say something. Because at the end of the day, 8 years ago, that woman lied on him and he didn't say anything. He let her have that because he knew she was grieving, for one. And for two, because of course he didn't want backlash. So he let her ride it out. But no, he needs to say something. Honey, who's going to let somebody keep lying on them? If you lied on me 8 years ago and got away with it, what you're not going to do is lie on me again. What are you bringing this back up for? Okay, that's what you're not going to do. At least not on my watch. You're not going to get away with it if you even try it. Okay, I'm damn sure going to say something. He's doing the right thing as far as I'm concerned. Anyone should defend themselves against lies and slander. This is defamation, what she's doing, because he didn't steal that money. Okay. Jeff says her mother has something to do with her death. I don't know if she did or not, but I do know that she was supposedly at that darn hotel a few days before, which is very interesting. And here's my thing. And thank you for your insight into the topic, beloved, and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. I appreciate you. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, she signed a non-disclosure agreement promising basically she would never speak on her daughter again. So why is she speaking out now? Why is she coming out now? What's the deal here? Okay, Sosa said, yeah, she lied on him, Queen, but I can see this can get violent. Hopefully his warning is enough. It's not going to get violent. I mean, he's not going to get violent with her. And what can she do to him? At the end of the day, you know, he's not really even investigating the case. Okay, when he got that call online the other day, he basically said that he's not trying to reinvestigate the case. He just wanted to come on there and set the record straight about the lies that were being told on him. Now, whoever made that phone call could have had something to do with Teresa. I don't know. Probably did. Okay, because there was another phone call that's online where somebody called Zach TV. And some people said that was Teresa. Now, I don't know her voice like that, but some people are saying that was her. Some people said it wasn't her, but so I don't know. But nonetheless, Zach TV is dead. And so I think Jedediah is absolutely going to leave it alone. I don't think he's trying to look into the case, but he's not going to just let her keep lying and getting away with it. Okay, so now with that all being said, let's go to a few of these videos. Like some, everyone, please like and share. Just anticipates that it did sound like Teresa. Really? You know, it might have been her. Because when you think about it, the lady that was talking to Zach TV, she was giving information and he was like, how do you know all of this? And I was thinking, yeah, if that's just some random person, how would they know all that? Sounds like somebody who had inside information.
$3.7 million later, and now you want to act like you give a fuck? Girl, please. Baby, ain't no way in hell or heaven I would have ever let somebody play with me when it comes down to the death of my child and I not end up in the grave beside her ass. You got to be playing with me. The fact that the public went harder for your child than you did don't sit right with me. The fact that somebody actually lost their life over going hard.
Yeah, it doesn't sit right with me either, and it doesn't sit right with a lot of people. I'm going to one of Jedediah's videos.
They kept it quiet so that you can get the space you wanted. You got it. Now, what I'm gonna say to you, that there's a lot of lies detected, but it ain't mine. And this is what I'm gonna tell you. You can stop playing the damn game at this point. You get the grieving mother points, but you not gonna motherfucking play with my name anymore. Nobody gets permission to do that. And what I mean by that, Teresa Martin, is ain't nobody made you sit in no fucking room for no fucking hours, making you have to sign no document to give over the fight for your goddamn child. Let me calm myself down. Y'all get the judgment. But this is the thing that I want to say. If all of this is true, and you say you ready for things to be properly resolved to the point where you don't even care if you got to go back to court for a lawsuit, then I mean, and I said it before. Then, oh, you want to come back? I would have told him motherfucker quick. All right, you want to go back and you got the capability of doing it? All right, go on back and don't raise no resources. I'm not giving you any money. Da 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 da. That's what I would have did. I would have tested them and tried them on that level. None of it. Turned over the remains. I said, Teresa said to me, she said they finally turned over the remains. I said, good. I said, what's the organs in there? And he was like, I don't know. They did. They said, no. They said, I'm talking about what they said to me directly. I ain't talking about no room, just so we're clear. They said, no, her organs are missing. And I was like, what? Organs are missing for real? And so then it would probably be a few days later. They said, we got to get our own independent autopsy. Because I said, oh my God, absolutely. But if an organ missing, what's on autopsy? We say, oh no, her organs are in there. So I was like, what? So they are or they aren't? I'm so lost on this. And so they was like, well, it's definitely some stuff that's strange, or some stuff is missing, and it ain't like they said. So I was like, okay, they're being very like they're not being very clear. So I can literally remember I kept saying, are they there or not? Oh yeah, there is organs there, but not all of them. So I was like, no, that's just strange. That's just strange. So then they do the independent autopsy. Does anybody remember the autopsy? Because I remember the conversation. And it was like, well, the autopsy was there and the organs were in there, but certain things were missing. And I'm like, this just not adding up. So in the post that I wrote, what I'm saying is organ harvesting is big. It was big business there. So I'm saying, because again, I can only talk about what I know. I have never, not one day, been able to look inside her body to give a conclusive answer. I don't know. I'm saying that up front. So the autopsy was released. I said, don't fear. I'm about to go to jail for you if I need to. I have a mic on my thing. I said, whatever happens, we doing this together for Kanika. And if I lose my life or I go to jail, I'm okay with it. That's how much I believed in this corny ass shit. We was about to move the mountain. And as we began to walk, Teresa said out of her mouth to me, because I will never forget her words, peoples are going to get hurt. I know what happened with my baby. And if I let you do this, they going to be mad at me. And I looked at her and I said, you know what happened to your baby? Why didn't you tell me? I said, Teresa, stay back, fall back. And she had people who were standing with her, and I went up to that line, and that video clip that I just showed you is the moment I started cussing out the police. But my mind was still trying to process what the woman just said. So I'm cussing them out, but I wasn't going to now try to fight the line because she said turn around. But I'm like, this is what we needed. This the moment. And they cannot do nothing to us because this is under the Constitution. We can walk down here, and we got the manpower. I went back to Teresa Martin, going down memory lane. And I said to her, I said, Teresa, who is the they going to be mad at you? And why do you care? We want them mad. And she looked at me. And it was a look at her face like, I got to figure this out. I got to stop you. And I looked at her and I was like, it's okay. Don't be afraid. And she was like, we just need to go back. We just need to go back. I want peace. I want peace. And she began to say, but God, but God, but God. I just want peace. I just want peace. And I said, Teresa, who are they? Why do you care? And we may never get this moment again. We are about to crack this city's wall. That's what I said. She said, we just need to go back. If I would have known what I know now, I would have walked Teresa Martin Nash to that line of cops. I would have stood next to her and I would have told everybody in the public, Teresa Martin is looking for a way out. She has already made her deal. Now, that's what I would have did if I would have known, but I didn't know. So we went back, we finished protesting, we escorted her to her car. Not too much later, she would be online calling off the protest.
Okay, and people are talking about, somebody said that he stole the money so the protest would get called off. Okay, these are lies that she was telling people. She called off the protest. I showed you all the video the other day where she literally was telling him and the people out there that she didn't want to do it, not to do it. And he sat there and said it in front of her. He said, she's telling us not to do it.
No. Respect, sir. No. Damn! I had to do the matrix on that motherfucker and I let that hit my heart. With all due respect, no. All right. You the mama. And that's why I wrote on my status. You just went on ahead and reopened a sealed wound, a healed wound. But thank you for allowing me to see it ain't no infection in it, Teresa, because I ain't even mad at you. I ain't mad at you. It's cool. You are entitled to your opinion and do what you want to do. But I'm going to tell you something with my chest. All of the people who conspired against me to get me moved, when I moved, they couldn't even motivate it to last a month later. They couldn't get the people reignited when you was giving them permission to move forward because they were not anointed for this. Ain't nobody get locked up. I ain't been in no jail. What is y'all talking about? And so we literally had a beautiful movement that inspired the world. To this day, I don't do direct trauma advocacy. And I got all these people from this young lady, Ramika, asking me to get involved. I'm apprehensive. Thank you, Teresa Martin. Because if y'all paid attention for all of the liars, oh, he just avalanche chasing, looking for clout and looking for this. Look at how many families in Chicago have been asking people to help them with missing kids. People have been shot. People have been going through all kinds of domestic violence issues, all kinds of shit. Who don't you see? Jedediah, because I don't got time for it. I will never invest my life.
Okay, Jedediah said he didn't have time for it, and I wouldn't either after all of that. Okay. But with that all being said, I think this is the video where the police were harassing him. This is from like a few years ago. But Jedediah, you know, if I were him and people aren't going to be showing gratitude if he's trying to help them, I wouldn't be trying to help them either. Okay, because police have harassed him and all sorts of things. And here's a video of exactly that.
Excuse me? You're under arrest.
I'm under arrest?
Yes, sir.
Why would I be under arrest?
You said what?
Why am I under arrest?
You're under arrest for disturbing the peace.
Disturbing the peace? What
so we're going to make this easy. I'm going to have you step out. You're going to crawl over. Okay?
You're arresting me for disturbing the peace. Yes, where?
Yes, sir. You're under arrest.
What city are you from?
City of Flint Police.
Name and badge number.
You said what?
Name and badge number.
Go ahead and step out of the car.
That's fine. Here you go. Keep this for me. He's not stepping out. I am, right?
If you can get out on that side. I only ask that he steps out. You got to crawl over.
Okay. Let me crawl over and make sure. Here. Disturbing the peace.
Yes, sir.
That's a ticket.
Okay, now he was just sitting there in the car. Okay, it looked like he was just sitting there in the car, and the police come over talking about disturbing the peace. First of all, if he's in his car, how is he disturbing the peace again? Please make it all make sense. G from the land says, "Thank you, Queen. You know you be putting in work. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. Thank you for your kind words and your contribution. Peace, love, and blessings." Okay, the police just come over and start harassing this poor man. He didn't do Nathan. But guess what, you guys? I got a treat for y'all. Some information just came out about Ray J and Princess Honey. They said Ray J pulled a gun. Do y'all hear this? We're going to get into it right after this. Please pay attention. This is all nefarious. I just saw it come through. Okay, here we go. Pulling a gun on Thanksgiving is crazy work, right?
I said, don't fear. I'm about to go to jail for you if I need to. I have a mic on my thing.
Okay, I already played that one. My bad. Hold on. This is the one from Zach TV. Zach TV was about to solve the Kanika Jenkins case. Okay, this is one about Zach TV. Here we go.
Remember him? This is Zach. Zach was full front in the Kanika Jenkins case. He had files that cost him his life. Jedediah met with Zach right before he lost his life. They warned him to back off the case, and then they unalived him. Listen what Jedediah had to say about this.
Zach TV showed me some stuff, and I never betrayed his work. I never did that. I don't know all the particulars about his life, but that man called me and he said, Jedediah, I know all these people, bro, and I got some stuff that you don't have. And he said, Jedediah, you are doing the right stuff. He said, you are about to crack the case, and because of you, I've been getting way more information. He said, Jedediah, look at the timing of the damn interview. He said, I don't give a fuck what nobody say. He said, I know some things and I need to tell you directly. That man said, we need to meet up. And he says, I'm going to let you do a video on my page. He said, because you need to be heard. And he said, you need to tell X, Y, Z, and I'm going to give you some stuff. I said, Zach, I don't think people are going to hear me. They're not going to be able to hear me. I'm going to just speak my piece. I'm going to just speak my piece and I'm going to drop it, bro. He said, Jedediah, I don't know. I don't know if I framed that right. Zach TV put himself on the line to give a person that was now being attacked and targeted a voice, and it wasn't popular at that moment. He did it because he knew in his heart and believed it was the right thing to do. That is why I have an interview with Zach right before he left this world. And he so.
Wow, now that is really interesting. Okay. And then they took that man out. That is so sad. Now somebody lost their life over this. And see, that's what makes me so angry at Teresa Martin. You sat up there and signed an NDA, so you won't talk about your daughter again. You don't want the protests going on. The hotel just really wanted to silence her. They just wanted her to stop talking about it. They didn't want any protesting. That was bad for business and all of that. So they just paid her to make it all go away. And she took that money and shut the hell up, just like Breonna Taylor's mother did. This is so disheartening when stupid ass Black people do this when you've lost your loved ones. And meanwhile, you have other Black people out here advocating for your family member, only for you to turn around and do this. Some people are out here getting arrested when these things happen. Some people lose their lives. You know, all kinds of situations happen. Zach TV is dead. And you mean to tell me that you're okay, lady, taking this payout and just being quiet about the whole thing? Well, surely she was. Okay, surely she was. It's just all just so sad as far as I'm concerned. Now, with that all being said, honey, let's talk about Ray J, because when I tell y'all, Princess is alleging that Ray J pulled a gun on her on Thanksgiving Day. 555 said, Queen, you are amazing. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. Thank you for your kind words and your contribution. Peace, love, and blessings. So let's talk about it, honey, because y'all know we're here for the mess. I was about to say RJ. Ray J arrested after allegedly pulling a gun on his ex, Princess Love, during unhinged live stream. What? Do y'all hear this? Hold on 1 second. I want you all to listen to this real quick, because I want to see if I can find this live stream. Hold on. Now I wonder if they took it down. Okay, here it is. Ooh, honey, I went right to it, y'all. Y'all, I want to tell y'all, honey, I got y'all's back. Please pay attention, honey. Okay, here it is. Let me just send this to my email. This is all so sad. I hope the kids weren't there, Ray J. You should be ashamed of yourself. This is all a hot mess. It looks like she's holding one of the children. Ray J, what the hell is wrong with you? Okay, let's get into it, honey, because this is all crazy. All right, so we're going to watch the video because I just sent that to my email. Let me make sure it came through real quick. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so listen, here's what they're saying happened. This is from page 6. Ray J has reportedly been arrested after allegedly pulling a gun on Princess Love and threatening to shoot a man in an alarming live stream on Thanksgiving. The rapper, age 44, is currently, why they keep calling him a rapper? Ray J ain't never rapped a lyric in his life. This dude is an R&B singer. How did they get that mixed up? Anyway, he's currently in custody at a Los Angeles area jail, according to TMZ. Now, during the live stream, Ray J said that his kids were with him for the holiday, and that ain't nobody taking them away from me on Thanksgiving. He claimed that people were threatening him, and he appeared to grab a handgun and load it while on camera. And you're supposed to be keeping kids? Honey, nope. And if people are threatening you, you for darn sure won't be keeping my kids, honey, please. Okay, now. And then you have a gun and you're loading? This is all crazy. Now, in my house, this is what Ray J says. I'm in my house, and if these ninjas step foot close to this door, I'm going to blow this effing shish away, bro. I don't give a F, bro. Leave me and my kids alone. Oh, Lord, Ray J is unhinged, y'all. Let's just get into it, y'all. This is all crazy. I'm quite sure I don't need to repeat it because he's going to say it all in this video clearly. After he did all of that, I'm guessing Princess came to snatch up the kids. Okay, says Princess Love and Ray J got into a heated argument while on live, and Princess made some very serious allegations. All right, well, this is all so sad, including nefarious. So I'm going to share my screen. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance.
Gun at us. I didn't point nothing at y'all. You pointed a gun at us. Yeah, whatever. You take my kids because y'all drunk. Y'all want to drive drunk? Y'all want to drive drunk? Drive drunk. Drive drunk, princess.
Right, you just
Drive drunk.
You just pointed a gun.
Drive drunk.
You just pointed a gun.
Drive drunk, princess. Go ahead. Want to take my kids? You and your drunk cousin? Because y'all drunk as fuck and y'all alcoholics? Take my kids then. Go ahead. Who's going to drive? Tony, he's been drinking too.
I'm not driving.
Who's been driving? Everybody? I didn't point nothing at y'all.
You pointed a gun at us.
I didn't point nothing.
Now, Ray J, please stop lying. If she said that he pointed a gun at them, you know darn well he did it. Why would she make that up? And she looks like she's very concerned. Okay, Joy said Ray J runs his mouth too much. He does. And then 44 Roddy said, I saw the live. Princess came to his house and took the kids, causing them to start crying. Well, it was time to take him if he's pulling guns.
You pointed a gun at us.
Yeah, whatever.
You pointed a gun at us.
Why are you waking my daughter up?
You pointed a gun at us.
Why did you just wake my daughter up? Why did you just wake my daughter up?
All I wanted to do was have a good thing.
Why did you wake my daughter up?
Right?
Because you're selfish.
Delusional.
You're drunk.
You're a woman abuser.
You're drunk.
Delusional.
I'm a woman. That's
yes,
what drunk
you
people
are.
say. Like, you're taking my daughter?
Grow the fuck up.
All right,
Seriously.
cool.
You need to fucking...
You're not taking my son.
Right.
Like, I know you're not trying to take my son. Hey, don't
Hold
on, bro. I swear to God, I'll shoot the fuck out of you.
Shoot
y'all
me
get
right
out
now.
my house.
Pointed a gun at us.
I didn't point nothing at y'all.
Now, that's how you know he pulled a gun. He just said, I'll shoot the F out of you. Who was he talking to? Wow. This is all sad. This is all sad. Okay, Ray J is an idiot. He needs help. I told you all before that Ray J needed help. I told you all before. I told y'all that Ray J has mental health issues. It's not even a game at the end of the day. This is scary. This is real scary, but hold on. Because let's go back to the article. So they say, he said, I don't give a F, bro. Leave me and my kids alone. I hate when men call their girlfriends or exes bro. He appeared to get up with a gun when Princess Love walked in the house and said she was taking their kids. The on-again, off-again couple share 2 children together, daughter Melody, age 7, and son Epic, age 5. Now, as Princess picked up who appeared to be Melody, Ray J accused her and her cousin of being drunk. And then started talking about them driving drunk and all of that. Then the situation escalated as he refused to let her take their son, and the other man's voice was heard. Ray J told him, I swear to God, I'll shoot the F out of you. A scuffle appeared to ensue off screen, and Ray J was heard repeatedly saying, I'll kill you, bro. The man was heard saying that he was trying to help Ray J out, and he appeared to try to de-escalate the situation, telling him, let's chill. And the background audio captured a child crying and police appearing to enter the scene. This is all a mess. Sources told TMZ that cops got a call around 4 a.m. That came in as a possible domestic violence incident involving threats. Officers reportedly arrived, cleared this residence, and took the suspect into custody. Now, Ray J's rep didn't immediately respond to Page 6's request for comment. Princess Love filed for divorce from Ray J back in February of 2024 for the 4th time. Okay, she just needs to stay gone, honey. At this point, it's a wrap. It marked their 4th divorce attempt since May of 2020. So 4 times in 4 years, yeah, it's time to leave. Okay. As they've continuously dismissed their previous requests while working through their differences. However, they were spotted kissing in April at a Bow Wow concert in Miami. Honey, ain't that much love in the world. Okay, there is not that much love in the world as far as I'm concerned. What do y'all have to say about it? Because I just think this is all so egregious. Now, here's another video. Princess Love slams Ray J after allegedly pulling a gun on her. Okay, this is her doing a video. This is from TMZ, and I'm going to put an overlay on this. This is all just a mess. Okay, there we go.
I just want to say, I've been doing a really great job at protecting my peace and staying off of social media and just going to work, taking care of my kids, minding my business. I love my kids, and I would never do anything to put them in danger, including leaving them with a man who's waving a gun around. I would never do anything to put my kids' lives in danger. I'm the best mother, and I do it alone. I take my kids to school alone. I go to parent-teacher conferences alone. I put them to bed alone while you're out here running around the world terrorizing women and abusing women.
Okay, beloved. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to I just found this on the Neighborhood Watch. So I'm going to go to theirs so I don't have to use the overlay, because you got to use the overlay with TMZ, honey, because they will be sure to hit you with a copyright strike. Okay, so I'm just going to go to this one so we don't have to use it. You can see it a little better.
I just want to say, I've been doing a really great job at protecting my peace and staying off of social media and just going to work, taking care of my kids, minding my business. I love my kids, and I would never do anything to put them in danger, including leaving them with a man who's waving a gun around. I would never do anything to put my kids' lives in danger. I'm the best mother, and I do it alone. I take my kids to school alone. I go to parent-teacher conferences alone. I put them to bed alone while you're out here running around the world terrorizing women and abusing women. What I'm not about to do is let you deflect and not take accountability for your actions, for pulling a gun out on me and my cousin's husband because I was trying to take my kids and leave your house. I agreed to come over there and cook for Thanksgiving because I wanted you to be around your kids with me present, because the last time I left them with you, they found you naked in a bed with a woman. And when I tried to ask you about it, you told me to fuck myself and that I don't run shit over there. So take accountability, Ray. Do better. Check yourself into rehab, because you're more than drunk. You're not about to sit here and try and make me look crazy when I am the best mother.
All right, this is very sad. Okay, this is heartbreaking at the end of the day. But hold on, because there's another one. There's another video. I'm gonna go to it. Perplex said they just need to just separate. You can tell how the people were walking around unfazed as if this is a common thing between them. Well, they are separated. They've been separated for a while, but they just keep getting back together. They just keep getting back together. Clearly. Okay, so hold on. Let me pull up this next one. I wouldn't want anything else to do with him after that, because him pulling guns and all that stuff, now you had a whole nother level of nefariousness. And then her children around too. No. Talking about shooting people while the kids are, it's all crazy.
I've been like staying off of social media and just like protecting my peace. But what I'm not about to do is let him deflect and make it about me. And make it seem like I was drunk or it was all my fault. That is not the case. I went to his house. First of all, I just moved into my new house, but I went to his house with the kids because I wanted the kids to have a good Thanksgiving with their dad. He's been gone for a month, hasn't seen them, hasn't called them, and he wanted to spend Thanksgiving with his kids. So I said, me and my cousin and my cousin's husband went over there. Okay, so I've been like staying off of social media and just like protecting my peace. But what I'm not about to do, there with my kids and her 3 kids, and we were prepping to cook the food for Thanksgiving. And I told him before I went over there, don't start nothing or I will take the food and I will continue cooking at my house.
Now, if you have to preface the Thanksgiving dinner with don't start nothing. Now, mind you, you're cooking the food. You've probably brought food over to cook and prepare, and you have to tell this man, okay, don't start anything, or I'm going to take the food and prepare it at my house. That's too much work and too much trouble. And if you have to do all of that, honey, don't even come. If anything, if he wanted to see the kids, maybe she should have just dropped the kids off and left, or let him come pick the kids up. But she wanted to eat there with them, I guess. And this is what happened as a result. She just needs to stay away from him. They're already separated. They just need to stay apart because clearly they can't work it out.
I honestly don't know why I keep thinking we can just co-parent and be cordial with each other. There with my kids and her 3 kids, and we were prepping to cook the food for Thanksgiving. And I told him before I went over there,
listen, I'm gonna say this because I'm not gonna let the story go to where it don't supposed to go.
Now I want you all to pay attention. Ray J is drunk as hell. He's drunk. It's all over his face. It's in his voice. He's drunk and high. Probably been popping Percocets or something and then drinking a whole lot of alcohol. But he said that she was drunk. He was clearly drunk. Okay, please pay attention. It's obvious to me.
You in my house. We're having an argument. All right? We grown-ups. If you want to leave, leave. The kid is upstairs sleeping in my bed. You want to go upstairs and take the kids, wake them up into this grown-up argument, which shouldn't have happened. Instead of letting them sleep, you want to snatch her and take her with you. Then you got a dude coming in my bedroom where my kids is asleep, and they're trying to get in my bed and take my kids because all of y'all are drunk. Y'all can't drive with these kids drunk. I'm not letting that happen. This dude is coming in my room, getting in my bed to take my kid. I'm going to defend my kids, and I'm going to defend my space. And now, when they call the police, no problem. I'm sure the police going to come and understand what I'm going through. Listen, I'm going to say this because I'm not going to let the story go. I go to jail. I'm in my bedroom. They're in there snatching my kids out of the bed while they're asleep, and they're waking up yelling and screaming and crying.
Now, here's where Ray J got the game effed up. Even if they were coming in his room, okay, well, the man shouldn't have come in his bedroom, I wouldn't say. But even though they were taking the kids came there with Princess. She's the custodial parent. So if she gives someone that she arrived with, that came with her, permission to take her kids, then she can do that. It's not like Ray J is the custodial parent. That would make it different. If he were the custodial parent and someone just came in there, Princess, and bringing someone with her and snatching up the kids, then he'd have a valid argument that I'm protecting my kids. But honey, the kids don't live with you, okay? And you can say they were drunk. That is questionable. But what I can see from looking at him, he's damn sure drunk, which is likely why the police took his behind and believed what they said and not him. And he was so delusional, he literally thought the police would understand his plight. Dude, you literally pulled a gun on people with children present. And that's called child endangerment. Okay, now you're going to have more than one charge.
A dude is getting my kid out of the bed, bro. I'm going for mine. For my kids, I'm going to double down on that. Y'all can't do that. But you know what? It is what it is. I love my kids. I'm not playing about my kids. And that's it. That's it. I'm in my house. Y'all in it. That's a whole nother thing, man. I'm in my house. I hate that this shit happened. That's a whole nother thing, man. Bro, now I got my kids in here with me. Like, I'm not, like, ain't nobody taking my kids away from me on Thanksgiving, bro. The damn, they in my house. They making threats to me. You got here for anyway, bro. I swear to God, I'm in my own house. And if these kept foot close to this door, bro, I'm gonna blow this away, bro. I don't give a fuck, bro. Leave me and my kids alone, man. That's in the dead homies, bro. Now
A gun at us.
I didn't point nothing at y'all.
You pointed a gun at us.
Yeah, whatever. You take my kids because y'all drunk. Y'all want to drive drunk? Y'all want to drive drunk? Drive drunk. Drive drunk, princess.
Right. You just
drive drunk.
You just pointed a gun.
Drive drunk.
You just pointed a gun at
drive
us.
drunk, princess. Go ahead. You want to take my kids? You and your drunk cousin? Because y'all drunk as fuck and y'all alcoholics? Take my kids then. Go ahead. Who's going to drive? Tony, he's been drinking
I'm not
too.
driving.
Who's been driving? Everybody? I didn't point nothing at y'all.
You pointed a gun at us.
I didn't point nothing at y'all.
You pointed a gun at us.
Yeah, whatever.
You pointed a gun at us.
Why you waking my daughter up?
You pointed a gun at us.
Why did you just wake my daughter up? Why did you just wake my daughter
All
up?
I wanted to do was have a good Thanksgiving.
Why did you wake my daughter up?
Ray?
Because you selfish.
Delusional.
You're drunk.
You're a woman abuser.
You're
You're
drunk.
delusional.
I'm a woman. That's
Yes,
what drunk
you
people
are.
say. Like, you're taking my daughter?
Grow the fuck up.
All right,
Seriously.
cool.
You need to fucking.
You're not taking my son.
Ray.
Like, I know you're not trying to take my son. Hey, don't
touch
hold on, bro. I swear to God, I'll shoot the fuck out of you.
Shoot me right. A gun at us.
I didn't point nothing at y'all.
Okay, you can tell that Ray J did everything they said that she said. Ray J is manipulative. Ray J is very manipulative. Okay, so it wasn't that long ago, Ray J was on live saying, it was probably a week or so ago. I think it was last week, in fact. Ray J was on live saying that he wants his family back. And this is what he does. Okay, this is what he does. Now, my question is, why are y'all having dinner, Thanksgiving dinner, just with y'all anyway? She knows Ray J's drama. Honey, I would have wanted to be around his parents at least. I would have at least felt more comfortable if I were Princess to be around his mother and father and Brandy or somebody, but not just Ray J by himself. Because Ray J's a whole fool. He was clearly on something. It's just really sad. Ray J had talent and stuff, you know, and it's just sad that he's just going downhill. Is anybody trying to save him? Because I'm afraid he's going to end up dead. Okay, remember that time, you guys, when I reported that he was sitting on the ledge? Do you all remember that? Talking about taking himself up out of here, sitting on the ledge. He needs to be in rehab or something. This is very concerning. Okay, he needs to be in rehab, getting some kind of counseling, therapy, or whatever, because it's needed. He has mental health issues and substance abuse problems. That's obvious. And also alcohol abuse problems, from what it sounds like. And this is all getting out of pocket. Now he's to the point of being dangerous, even to his own children. That's right, Spiritoso. He is spiraling. Jeff ATL said he knows something about Whitney's death. Yeah, I definitely believe that. I definitely do. Okay, so let's go to this video, honey, because this is Jeffrey Epstein's ex-girlfriend came out and spoke. And I'm not talking about Ghislaine Maxwell. This is another ex. So let's get into it.
Ever think you'd see this happen?
That Republicans are supporting the release of the files?
Yeah.
Well, we've had a few, right? You know, I've never understood the sort of the role of legislative officials in protecting pedophiles. I didn't think that was part of the job criteria. So it's been very confusing to me. But if some of them are finally arriving at some moral clarity, you know, that's a good thing. Transparency is critical. And I was quite shocked to hear the White House say yesterday that they're being fully transparent after dragging a member of Congress there to get her to pull back her vote on releasing the Epstein files. It's condescending to the American people, and it is cruel and damaging to the Epstein survivors.
We know that Trump it's been personally involved, right? Trying to lobby Republicans against voting for the release, right? Lauren Boebert was invited to the Situation Room itself yesterday, for example, right? For that meeting. And he called Republicans very bad or stupid if they vote to release the files. That was his post yesterday. Stacey, what do you think about that? What do you think about the lengths he is going to in full public view to block the release of the files?
It's awfully confusing, as I said. He ran on releasing the files, and the White House is claiming that they are fully committed to transparency. But here I am now. When did I come to you guys first start talking about this? About a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are. Nothing's changed. These survivors are jumping through hoops, proving themselves. I'm out here jumping through hoops. I'm doing the polygraphs and sharing all this information and talking over and over and over and sharing my personal story about what they did to me and how close they were. And what's happening? A member of Congress is being dragged up to the White House to be told not to support this vote to release the truth and be transparent. It's condescending. Americans can't possibly be gaslit to this extent, and it is incredibly damaging and gaslighting to these survivors.
Darn sure is. It absolutely is. Okay, that's all they've been doing is gaslighting. And then Trump sitting there and them acting like MAGA Mike, okay, aka Mike Johnson, Trump, all of them, Bondi, Carolyn Levitt, acting as though they really want to release those tapes and be transparent. No, they don't. Y'all went through hell and high water to make sure they didn't get released, and I still don't think they're going to get released. And at the end of the day, they'll release what they want with redactions and stuff that they've taken out, in my opinion. That's what they'll do. But at the end of the day, they didn't want to release that stuff. And like they said, they took Lauren Boebert into the Situation Room, probably twisting her arm, okay? Twisting her arm to try to get her not to say anything, not to go along with the vote. Now, Luna says, oh, please, lady, stop lying. Luna, what do you think she's lying about, beloved? At the end of the day, this lady's been trying to get them, give them information about Jeffrey Epstein and trying to get them to release evidence about him for years now. She's not the one lying. Trump is. But Luna, the funny thing about you is you always are caping for Trump and now caping for Epstein, as it seems, is absolutely nefarious. But let me continue. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Okay, so we're almost done. And let's talk about Shakur. Okay, I'm going to go to Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco's video from their video from last night. They were talking about how this reporter tried to set Shakur up, tried to bait him. And that's kind of what he did. But here's the thing. Ocho got very upset, honey. He got very upset. And my first reaction was to get upset too. But then when you think about it, maybe the reporter was just asking questions that people want to know. I don't know. But Shakur didn't seem to like the question, as he clearly expressed when he responded with his reply. Okay, so let's get into it. Joy said extremely nefarious. Okay. And then Luna says, why didn't the Dems release them? Oh, okay. I'm glad you asked. The Dems didn't release them, Luna. If you had been listening on several occasions, I've explained why the Dems didn't release them. The Dems didn't release the Epstein files, first of all, because we weren't asking for them at the time. But second of all, because Ghislaine Maxwell, remember her, Epstein's other girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, the one that's an S-trafficker just like him, that's convicted and sitting in prison, a cushy prison now thanks to Trump and Todd Blanche. Yeah, that lady, well, she was on trial, okay? She was on trial when Biden was in office. All right, that's when she went to trial. So you can't release evidence when there's a trial coming, an investigation and things like that. Okay, that's why. Okay, but that all is a deflection. Okay, that's a deflection, in my opinion, when people say that or ask that question, because here's why. Trump is the one. Okay, don't sit here and act like that people are just coming for Trump about the Epstein files and they didn't come for Biden. Because there were some people that wanted them released during Biden's administration, I'm sure. But again, like I said, there was a trial. But also with this whole thing with Trump, Trump is the one who voluntarily ran his campaign on the premise that he was going to release the files. Okay, that's what he said. That's what he said himself. So, I mean, don't get mad if people are asking him to do what he promised. Okay? Ghislaine Maxwell was on trial, or she was convicted in 2021. Biden was the president. No files were released. Now, with that all being said, let's get into this story about Shakur and this nefarious reporter. Just Anticipate said Trump was saying it all throughout his campaign. Exactly. So that's why people are asking him and didn't ask Biden. Like, Biden didn't say anything about it. And nor could he anyway. Okay, now let me get my overlay on here and then we're good to go.
Stefanski is trying to sabotage him in his first season. Ocho Joe, let's take a listen to what the young man had to say.
Hey, Shishadar, not from you, but all your supporters out there say that Kevin Stefanski was sabotaging you.
So you just want to start trouble, huh?
No, I want to ask you what your relationship with him is.
Yeah, well, what people do outside the building isn't really in my control. It's not in my power. So I don't, like I go out there and tell them to do whatever. You know, that's not nothing I can control or nothing I could do. But overall, you know, I'm just happy to be here. Coach Stefanski, been coaching since I got here, and we've been doing a very great job, you know, with everything that's going on.
But what is your relationship like with him and when we don't see you guys together?
Definitely like a coach. You know, he tells me what I need to do on and off the field. We definitely grown. Our relationship and everything has grown. So I'm just thankful to be here.
Hey, I'm what the hell is a reporter fishing for? I mean,
you know what he's fishing for.
Hey, listen, hold on. Hey, Joe, I don't like that, Joe. Listen, the focus should be on him having his second start, going to play the San Francisco 49ers. What's the game plan, or what's your thought going in to play them? Worried about this is business. This ain't about friendship. His job as the coach. Shadur's job is to play. Simple as that. They're asking a stupid question. It had nothing to do with the game of football.
I think. Hey, go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
Okay, Joe. I don't really think it was a stupid question. He asked a question that a lot of people out here want to know. A lot of people want to know, does Stefanski really mess with him like that? You know what I mean? Like, what's y'all relationship for real? Hey, reporters have a tough job, bro. They got to ask the tough questions. You know what I mean? So I don't mind the question, honestly. I'm just glad. It just depends on who you're asking and are they mature enough to be able to talk around that question.
But listen, Joe, and Uncle, if you listen to the answer, he talked around it. He didn't answer directly. Listen, he's my coach, and he's been coaching me the way he should since I've been here.
Comcast Business Advanced Networking and
already know how that coach feels about you based on the way he talks publicly and some of the things that he says. Because when they ask him a question about him, he doesn't answer it directly either.
Hold the hell up here, Deronda. What do you mean, speak Ocho Chicklets? No, you're not talking about... I know you are not talking about Ocho's teeth, honey. That's what we're not going to do, is have any Ocho blasphemy on here talking about chicklets. I am done. Let's continue.
He dances around the question that talks about the team collectively. That's what he does. I mean, we know how he feels about him. The reporter knows how most of the people in that organization feel about him, including the owner. So there's no need to ask that just to fish for something so you have something to write a goddamn headline about.
That's really what it was. Okay, that's what they were doing. They were fishing for a headline. Pay attention. Luna said, I don't trust a bald man. What about a bald woman, Luna? What about a bald woman, honey? Okay? Talk about she don't trust a bald man. Okay, let's continue.
Look,
they need a viral moment.
You know, look, guys, you know, I kind of do a little bit more interviewing with Club Shay Shay, and with my previous job when I was at CBS, I used to go out on the road a lot to interview players. And I've always asked, you know, for me, I never wanted to become a part of the story. So, but I was like, man, if somebody, I wonder what fans would really want to know if they had an opportunity to ask Tony Romo a question. If they got an opportunity to ask JJ Watt a question, if they got an opportunity, what would they ask? So I always tried to ask a question or questions that fans would want to know. But I also understood that, you know, I got to keep this about football. The first thing I'm like, okay, Shador, you got your first start out the way. You played, you know, you got the win. Everybody seemed to be excited. What is your expectations going into your second start? You get a second week to practice. You get a second week to start with, you know, to go with the one.
Now, those are some good questions right there, okay? The questions that Shannon says that he would have asked, those are good questions. All right, at the end of the day, here's the thing. The reporter may have been asking those questions because they know that's what people are saying and feel that's what some people may have wanted the answer to. But also, you have to think about the fact that you should not, in my opinion, because I would want to do it if I was the reporter, I would never want to put someone in a precarious position. So I would frame my questions in a way to which it wouldn't be, it wouldn't put them in a bad situation when they're given the answer. I would not have asked him that. Okay, I would not have asked him, do you think Kevin Stefanski is trying to sabotage you, this, that, and the third? I would have asked him that. I may have said something. If I wanted to get to that, the reporter could have simply said something along the lines of, well, how are you and the coach getting along? Or, you know, have you been working, or has the coach's input helped you to get better? You know, how do you feel about the reps you've been getting in the last week? Obviously, they were doing good because you did good in the game, but how did you feel or whatever? Could have said something like that. I mean, to come out and ask him flat out, is the coach sabotaging him? What is he supposed to say? Yes? If the young man comes out and says yes, do you really think that's going to garner him any more favor with the coach? Okay? At the end of the day, I just don't think that was a good answer. Jeff ATL said it's the funky. Yeah, that's what I call him, stuff funky. Okay.
The offensive line will have a better indication of your cadence. I would ask him questions like that. But I think because so many people have said that Kevin Stefanski has deliberately and purposefully tried to sabotage this young man's development and his growth, it's hard for me to see that. I don't know the pool of reporters, how many they got, Ocho. I mean, we would have, 15, 20, 30 guys there asking questions. It's hard for me to believe. He probably was the first one to get an opportunity to ask a question. But it's hard for me to believe that of those 25, 30 pool reporters that were there, not one person was going to ask about the relationship. Now, you look, he's mature enough because, hell, his dad, he's basically been in the spotlight because of his dad. He understands that everything that he says is going to be scraped over with a fine-tooth comb for the simple fact of his last name, Ocho and Joe. So he understands it. He's very mature. And he's been a quarterback, Ocho. You know it, Joe, and you know what quarterbacks do.
Yeah.
Think about how many times they asked Tom, or they asked Coach Belichick, and they kept it professional, knowing.
Okay, so we got their take on it. At the end of the day, that was not a good question to ask. And clearly, like I said, it was obvious Shador was annoyed. But we can all see that Kevin Stefanski does not like Shador. We can see that. Now let me go to this clip. And this further proves it, because this is like the first preseason game, if you all remember, that Shador played in, where he did pretty good. And then he's talking to the GM, Andrew Berry. And then Kevin Stefanski is standing in front of them. I want you all to pay attention to his body language. You can tell that he's listening, eavesdropping on their conversation, because he's within earshot of them. But it's like you can just tell that he just is so annoyed. Okay, like he just is like, whatever. Okay, here we go. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Cool.
Really, really nice.
You're not fully proud, kind of.
This no, I'm
Kind of
look,
proud.
look, pretty sure how it looked. Like a perfect no, but you made plays, operated like.
I love when you tell the facts. You know, but it's okay. It's okay.
Listen, you did a nice job. Okay, so just take what you learned from tonight, apply to the joint practices, and then the next race is there. All right.
You.
Shadur sounded just like Dion when he said, "You're with a real player now. I'm gonna bring that sauce to you." Okay, so now we're almost out of here. There's a couple of other things I want to talk about, but we're going to talk about those in the morning. Let's talk about this longest pass. I want to go to where somebody broke this down, but first of all, let me let you all see it. Hold on here. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance.
All right, it's 3rd and 9. Browns have to get to the Raider 46 for a first down. Sanders alone in the backfield. The Browns go empty, and the crowd gets loud. Shakur has it. Raiders bring the pressure. Shakur on the run. Throwing a deep ball. Bond has it at the 10. He's down at the 2. There's your deep ball. Isaiah Bond and the Browns are in the red zone.
Did I not tell you that Isaiah Bond was going to get a deep one?
Okay, so you could tell that him and Shadur were vibing in practice, so that was expected. That was the longest throw of the season. Dylan Gabriel could never, okay? He could never. Now, with that all being said, I want the men watching will appreciate this, I'm sure, because this guy's going to break down. He's going to do a complete breakdown of that pass, okay? Let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance.
Big plays on offense. And Shadur Sanders' first start in the Browns' big win over the Raiders in Vegas. You know what we're going to start with? It is Shadur to Isaiah Bond, 52 yards, the longest pass play of the season for the Cleveland Browns for now. Against Baltimore, lots of cover zero blitzes. Cover zero means no safeties. It means they're bringing the house and they have a man covering everybody who is going to be in a route. So right now they're showing they're going to bring 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The Browns are going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blockers. Now, yes, maybe you can get a chip from a tight end here. Maybe you can get a chip here. But at the end of the day, 6 rushers for 5 blockers. So Shadur Sanders knows, because look, here's the man-to-man. You got 1, 2, 3, this triangle for the Browns triangle here. You got man-to-man, and then you've got here man-to-man. So you know they are going to have, your Shadur Sanders, they have one more blitzer than you have blockers. So you're going to have to make a free runner miss. And so what Shadur Sanders does is get out to the right. Now, it's interesting in this one that normally in a cover zero, all the DBs are off a few yards. In this one, they're going to go ahead and they're going to press Isaiah Bond. That was a mistake. Let's look at this play unfold. So here we go. You get the rushers. You get a little chip here, but here's the free runner because Conklin's there. Blocker, 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 and then he's covering here. So you've got your receivers. Shadur sees it. He gets out to the right. That's the big key right here. Sees cover zero, free runner, gets out to the right, outflanks him. Isaiah Bond already has a step, and he's going to be bending this back here. Even is leaving in the NFL. And I love that Shadur Sanders, not only does he get out of the pocket, he gets out of the pocket with his eyes down the field. That is where he's able to see this, make the play, and look at that throw. Look at that throw, folks. Let's look at it again because it's so much fun. Let's look at that throw right here. Again, beats the free runner to the outside, does a great job, eyes downfield, off bounds. He throws the ball as he's about to get hit by Max Crosby. Look at that. On the 35, Isaiah Bond already gone. He's got the speed. He's had an opportunity to do this a couple times this year. Finally got the ball to him. Look at that throw, caught right there on the 10. 55 yards in the air on the run. Plenty of arm strength, beautiful ball. And Isaiah Bond just gets a little bit turned up, and they get down on the ground, setting up a Quinshon Judkins touchdown. So get from the back. So this is what Shadur's team. Double A-gap pressure. So we're going to get a blocker here. We're going to get a blocker here. We're going to get a blocker here, a blocker here, and we've got 2 over here. So Shadur knows this guy's going to be the free runner. Got to get out to the right. And that's exactly what he does. As the play unfolds, he sees it, beats him out of contain, and then look at that throw. Look, takes a hit right here. Hey, not my quarterback. And then, boom, look at that ball. John Keats, the philosopher poet, once said, "A thing of beauty is a joy forever." Truer words have not been spoken, because that is an absolute beaut. 52 yards. That was Browns' biggest pass play of the year. All right, let's go in the film room, take a look at some of the Browns' big plays on offense. And Shakur said,
Okay, so with that all being said, y'all see how that play was very, very perfectly executed, shall I say? Perfectly executed. Okay. Ha. Byron B said, "I can't see through your pencil shavings, Queen. Please sit down somewhere. Okay, put on your glasses." All right, now here's the last clip. I want to show you all this because I was very impressed by this. Danielle Hunter changed his grip mid-sack. Okay, when he was trying to sack Josh Allen, he actually had a grip on Allen's knee that could have gone wrong. It looks like he could have twisted his knee. He could have been out for weeks, months, who knows? Maybe even the season, but he switched his grip. Okay, that's a considerate player. Okay, because some people would have purposely done it just so he'd be out. Okay, so let's go to that footage. I love to see it.
He does not look 100%. He's had a rough night trying to hold up, whether it's been against Hunter or against Anderson, and they get hurting. He does not look 100%. He's had a rough night trying to hold up.
See, can you all see that right there? See how he's right there at the knee? He could have messed him up, okay? He could have just snapped his leg right there. But watch what he does.
Whether it's been against Hunter or against Anderson, and they get hurting.
Okay.
He does not look 100%.
He could have effed him up. He could have effed him up, honey, especially if he was a whole hater like some of y'all. If he was a whole hater like some of y'all in the chat. Okay, I'm just teasing. But seriously, that was very considerate of him. I actually liked that when I saw it. That was very professional. Okay, very professional. Now, with that all being said, I'm out of here, okay? I love you all to life. It is 10 o'clock. Good Lord, I didn't mean to stay on this late. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in, okay? And I will see you all tomorrow with your morning wake-up call. So each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Until next time, peace.
With that gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. That's See right. A bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got